Hey, you guys, Drew Pedlon, the most targeted citizen. Hope you're having a good day. It's 1:19. Guess it's Monday night, Tuesday morning. Made a mistake. I made a mistake. Now, I watch YouTube. That's all I consume is YouTube. I do it for my preaching. I listen to 3 or 4 different preachers. I just like to learn. And at the moment, there's really nothing on TV to really learn from. And I have avoided, like the plague, a lot of these channels with movies because they're so bad. It's all hate whitey. It's all social justice. It's all just crap. Now, when Mason is in here with me, we watch movies from when I was a child. 80s flicks, License to Drive, Goonies, Rocky, uh, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I mean, just, movies from my age, not the crap there is today. Speaking of crap there is today, you put something off so long because you know what you're gonna get. It's like when you've eaten something like when I was a kid, my dad used to get livers from Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I tried one of his livers one time and I enjoyed it. Well, we all went to the beach and I ordered a liver at the beach and I hated it. My dad made me while on vacation sit there and force down liver. Literally, it was choking me. I thought I was gonna freaking die eating it because it was so nasty. So you think you might enjoy it, and then once you get into it and you get the taste in your mouth and you realize it just about makes you sick. Well, this movie, Stillwater, with one of the biggest Hollywood douches of all, Matt Damon, who has made millions and millions of dollars in movies like The Bourne Supremacy and Legacy and Ultimatum, where is shooting people and beating people up and violence, violence, kill, kill, kill. Yet in real life, he left America to go to Australia because Australia outlawed guns and he feels it's safer in that country to raise his children. So I'm 45 minutes into the movie, and it starts because the movie takes off real slow. But Matt Damon is they always take these yuppies that hate America and hate white American, hate men like me, and they put them in these roles pretending to be men like me. So his whole point of being a dumb redneck, and that's what they've got him based in this movie, is just a dumb redneck. He got his little beard and goatee. He looks like he's got a wad in his mouth. He talks real slow, and everybody treats him like he's dumb. And of course, he's an oil rig worker, and that's all he knows. And he's a deadbeat dad, and his daughter doesn't like him. And anyway, his daughter is in Paris or is in Marseille, France, and supposedly she's in prison for killing her roommate or something like that. Kind of like what was on that one real life event that happened where the chick supposedly killed her roommate. Anyway, he doesn't have any money. He's an oil rig worker. He's out of work. He goes to Paris. Somehow he doesn't have money, but he's got money to fly back and forth to Paris to see his daughter in prison. Doesn't have any money, but he has money for plane tickets. He gets there, and his daughter is still trying to be free. So she writes a letter to her attorney for her dad to deliver, and this letter is like, "Oh, please help me. We have to find the guy who really killed her." And in the letter she says, "I can't trust my dad. He's just not equipped to deal with this. He's not smart enough to find out who this guy is." So there's your premise of the movie. So the lawyer says, "Oh, yeah, just a white American girl. She needs to get used to being in prison the rest of her life, blah, blah, blah." And Matt Damon has someone read the note where his daughter calls him just a dumb redneck, and he doesn't have the mental capabilities to deal with it. Well, it keeps going on in the movie where he's just a dumb redneck, and his daughter. And listen, my daughter, I love her to death. Both my daughters, I love them both equally. I can't pick between one of them. My youngest, my favorite, because she's the only one that talks to me. I just can't see a daughter writing a letter saying, "My dad's too dumb to deal with this, so you'll have to handle it." I just don't see these Hollywood types. They have no connection to family. They don't know what love is between a father and a daughter. They don't know what it's like to be a working man or woman in this world. They're that privileged. They don't understand the bond that we have as fathers to our daughters. So about 45 minutes in the movie, Matt Damon has now taken on himself to go around this town as a redneck with a baseball sweaty baseball cap and Wrangler jeans, and that's all you need to know. And here he doesn't speak French, so he has to have a woman translate, and she's sitting there talking to her Arab friend, and her Arab friend is speaking in French about how he's just a dumb American and this, that, and the other. And she said, "Oh, I really have to ask you a question. Did you vote for Trump?" I knew that as soon as that came out, it was going to be on then. Did he vote for Trump? And of course he says, "Well, I was drinking and I was doing drugs then, and I wasn't allowed to vote, so I couldn't do it." And the woman and her friend is just sitting there kind of ragging him because he's just a dumb redneck American. So Matt Damon is still continuing to try to find the killer who actually did to set his daughter free. And they go to this bar, and the guy who saw the bad guy, a bar owner, a previous bar owner, who actually knew the killer or had seen his daughter with the killer. He's supposedly a racist because he talks about the Arabs, because Arabs have pretty much destroyed France as well. They've destroyed the UK. So they're at a table, and Matt Damon can't understand what this guy's saying, but the woman's sitting there getting infuriated because the guy's just bashing on Arabs. Oh, they're all guilty. They're all doing something wrong. They're all bad people. And then the girl just gets mad and cusses him out because you can't be like that. And then Matt Damon's like, "What? What are you running away for? We need to find out the truth." And then she's like, I'm not going to mess. He's a racist." And of course, Matt Damon says, "Well, I work with racists all the time. It doesn't matter if they're racist. I'm trying to set my daughter free." Do you know the amount of psychological programming that it takes to make a whole race of people hate the color of their own skin? Think about the left in this country. They hate themselves. Every day on TV, you see it. Well, this white privilege, and it's white people talking about white privilege. It's white people going to these BLM rallies. When you tell them the truth about Black Lives Matter, there's nothing but a. You need to watch the Candace Owens, and I don't like Candace Owens. She's a loudmouth, and she's supposedly a former leftist, but she's all part of the show. But she did a movie for Daily Wire about Black Lives Matter. All their money went into social programs, besides buying $1 million houses for all the racists in the organization, but it went to transvestites and queers and hookers, and it just went into drag queen story, everything, the degradation of our societies, where all the billions of dollars from Black Lives Matter went into. Just think of all these people who are willing to literally bury their own race just to destroy America for a utopia of perfection. Anytime they've done this social engineering, socialism, it has failed miserably because the people at the top are always going to be winning. They're always going to be the one in control, and power breeds more power and more power and more power. Sorry, I've lost my light. It's just, it's crazy the amount of brainwashing that's going on. And listen, The feds know this. For all the people say, "Oh, there's no such thing as Twitter censoring," there's no. It's all the left, especially the ones that like to comment on my channel. "Oh, there's no censoring on the internet. There's no such thing." Try to tell my leftists turn the same thing. "Oh, there's no censorship on there." Well, you can go to C-SPAN, you can go to Forbes Daily News today, and all the hearings on Capitol Hill where the people from Twitter, the head of the Twitter prison mob that likes to put people in prison are on there saying, "Oh yes, the FBI, we had dozens of FBI agents working for us, and the FBI was paying us to pay their agents to work for us to silence the speech of all people on the right." Silence anyone speaking out the vaccines. Silence about the people talking about the jab. Talking about the election. We were paid by the FBI $3 million that they paid Twitter. They told Twitter, shut this account down, shut that account down, shut these down, silence them, kick them off, get rid of them, out of here. And the people on the left in our country, when you tell them and you even give them the link to it, they refuse. No, it's like they put their fingers in your. If I don't know it, then I don't believe it. And then you give them link after link after link where it's true. Because guess what? Everything that's coming out right now is everything that I told you was happening 3 years ago. Everything. Everything I said, as usual, is always proven true. Just like the post I made earlier about Project Bluebeam. The same guy that loves to come on here and act like he's interactive and act like he's inquisitive. None of that exists. Reuters News has already denied about the UFOs and all that. They've already denied it. Reuters and AP, Associated Press. So, in other words, two of the mainstream media news organizations that pushed Russia collusion for 3 years. That pushed that Donald Trump's time in the presidency was illegitimate as well. Now, I am not a Donald Trump fan, okay? So don't slide off here. I think Donald Trump's the biggest psyop in American history. But just hold your horses. They're not talking about Trump. They're talking about me. They're talking about people like you that are willing to think outside the box. Okay? They're talking about you. Okay? Donald Trump is not you. We are not Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't do anything different than what he did. He just said what no one else was willing to say. All perfectly set up, and I fell for it. But I'm awake, so deal with it. They hate us. They hate American exceptionalism. How do you destroy America? You start with the children and you work your way up. Even when I was going to school, they taught the Civil War was over slavery, and Lincoln, he was a Democrat, and he's the one that said, "Oh, slave free." Well, Lincoln wasn't a Democrat. He was actually a communist parading in Republican clothing, while was probably one of the very first homosexuals in the White House. Lincoln was a communist. Lincoln is responsible for more death of Americans than any president combined. But he's a savior like Martin Luther King. Oh, he's a savior. He's a great icon of the black people in the country. No, he wasn't. He was a whoremongering CIA agent, and they had to kill him because he was getting a little too out there. Everything they've told us is a lie. Project Bluebeam, maybe you need to research it. Well, they're going to fake an alien invasion. Did you hear me? Remember Ronald Reagan in early, I think 80, 81, I think he was at the UN, he said, "I would only care to think what happens if we were invaded, the world was attacked by some alien species and they wanted us all dead, that we would all come together as one world to fight all the evil." This is their precursor to the one world government. It's gonna be China or even ourselves, because we know our government isn't afraid to take down buildings with explosives, with nanotechnology. They're not afraid to do that. They've done it before. So they're going to do all this light show with the assistance of HARP, just like the big earthquake in Turkey, 30,000 people in Turkey and Syria that have been killed. Well, they just happened to fire up HARP about the same time seeding clouds. Did you know about that? Remember the tsunami? The tsunami that took out the whole island here about, 6 years ago? They fired up HARP about the time when Obama got pissed off at Texas, and Texas had record flooding, more flooding than they'd ever had, and it wiped out millions. I think the total was like a couple $100 billion worth of damage done in Texas. Weather weapons, but tell weather weapons to the lefties, oh no, there's no such. They can't control the weather. Listen, the powers that be can do almost everything that you would equate to a natural disaster or equate to God. They can create weather. They have cloned the human body. There are actual human clones walking Earth. Well, you're crazy, because when I tell you these things, it's because the majority of the technology is tested on me. So trust me, I live it in real life. But getting back to social justice crap. 50 minutes. Oh, he's a Donald Trump supporter. No, I wasn't. I was a drug addict and an alcoholic. But I don't do that. And of course, now the movie where his daughter's getting ready to find out that he's doing what her lawyer refused to do. And she looks at him in shock and fear. Daddy, you're too dumb to do it. You can't hold your temper, Daddy. You're the wrong one for the job. I would hope that if my daughter was unlawfully locked up in prison, that I would be the number one man on her mind to help her figure it out. This hate whitey, it's really getting old, because the majority of the whites in this country, we're not racist. We're just not. There are more racists on the left than there are on the right. Trust me when I say that. And just like the former bar owner in this movie is talking about the Arabs, he said, the Arabs to us are like the Mexicans to the white people in America. Do you understand how true that statement is? You see, the UK has been flooded with millions and millions of third world people, and it's destroyed the UK, destroyed it. Just like America is being destroyed right now. I can walk 20 feet in that direction and touch 15 illegal aliens who can't speak a word of English. They're destroying America completely. So anything you want to know about Project Bluebeam, let me know, because I can bring the proof. But here's the thing, the difference between me and the people that ask questions who don't want the answers is, I'm not scared to go out and find the truth. I'm not scared to get my sensibilities hurt by thinking one thing and it being something different, because in my world, I'm not wrong that often. It's very rare that I'm wrong about what I'm talking about. Now, you may think that sounds haughty and prideful and blah, 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 but I ain't been wrong yet. God bless. Like, share, and subscribe.